I'd like to introduce to you RustRite. RustRite is a direct-to-metal paint which eliminates the process of having to primer before painting. RustRite has got a built-in rust inhibitor. It's a primer and top coat all in one, which is fast drying and considerably durable. And we expect that one could get up to 8 years of lifespan on a RustRite coated product. It's cost effective because one eliminates the primer and then the paint. So not only do you save in the application of product, but you also save in labor time, which we know today is very, very expensive. What sets RustRite apart from other products is that it can be utilized on top of rusted areas. For instance, an old fence that has got rust on them, steam engines, boat parts, decks, any metal railings that has been exposed to the weather for a period of time. The RustRite has considerable etching properties and it adheres aggressively to rusted areas. The only time that one will use a primer on RustRite applications is when you are applying to stainless steel or aluminium products. This is a typical galvanized and mild steel application. So the process is to take the galv prep, which is a clear acid-based product which oxidizes and readies the galvanized surfaces for application of our RustRite paint. Apply it onto the galvanized with a brush. It has a 10 to 15 minute activation time. What does aid the application or the process is utilizing a Scotch-Brite pad just to etch the surface a little bit. Under normal circumstances, one would need to leave galvanizing to weather for 6 to 8 months before applying paint. The galv prep speeds up that application, that weathering, and it detoxifies the surface, rendering it ready for our RustRite paint. We are using a RustRite hammered finish silver grey. Because the paint has got a silicone base, it automatically finishes off in the stippled or hammered finish. And you can see that it is already doing that. Here we are going to go direct onto the mild steel. Again, ensuring that you cover all the surface in a smooth stroke. You have beautiful etching properties with no fish eyeing, no spots. So once you've applied your first coat and there's a little bit of metal showing through, that's fine. Don't worry about it. The second coat will finish off the product beautifully. And its drying time between the coats is 10 to 15 minutes. When doing a maintenance coat, you can change from the hammered silver to the hammered green or the hammered blue without any worries whatsoever. One could even change from a hammered to a smooth finish. When applying RustRite onto aluminium and stainless steel, one needs to utilize our primer. This is a water-based primer. It offers high etching properties when applying paint to metal surfaces such like aluminium and stainless steel. As you can see, it is extremely smooth, so we need to prepare the surface by using an 80 to 100 grit sandpaper and lightly scuffing the surface of the aluminium so as to create etching properties for the primer to adhere to. Very simply apply a thin coat of metal primer. Drying time is 10 to 15 minutes. one needs to ensure that all the edges and the corners are well covered. We're now going to apply the hammered finish green. Remember, one needs to apply your first coat, a nice even coat, and ensuring all the edges and all the corners are adequately covered. This is perfectly coated and requires the 10 to 15 minutes flash off time before one can apply the second and final coat.